Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sanders Aquatics. Tonight, we're going to teach you about the Brichardi cichlid. The Brichardi cichlid is probably my hands down favorite African cichlid out there. They are gorgeous, gorgeous fish, great temperament until they get into a breeding status. So we're going to teach you a little bit about these guys here tonight. Our tank here, we've got a breeding pair here. Trying to sex the male and the female is extremely difficult. Generally, the rule of thumb is the male has got longer runners on the top of them. And the best way to really be able to tell the difference is to pull them and physically look at their vents. I've had a hard time telling between these two which one's mama and which one's papa, but we've had a lot of success with these guys. The way we have our tank set up, we've got sand substrate in here, and I've got a lot of rocky area for these guys, and I have quite a few plants and stuff set up inside of here to help the babies have places to hide. I keep, and I have not eliminated, I've got millions of these annoying little pest snails in here, but these guys help me to be able to power feed when I have babies in these tanks. So one of the cool things about these guys, the Brichardi, when they mate for life. They are monogamous fish. They have no other mates. And they will mate in basically big groups. You can have groups of them together, and they will help raise the fry of the other parents that are in the tanks with them. When it comes down to tank mates and things, you got to be really careful. I strongly recommend to keep them basically in a group by themselves, so probably a 40-gallon or better tank, just because when they get to the point that they're going to pair off, they become extremely aggressive and extremely protective. And if you have more than a pair in there, they're going to look out for each other at the same time. We got Bentley here with us. Bentley's going to give us a couple facts about the Brichardi cichlid. Bentley, you want to take it from here?
Hey guys, the Brichardis grow to about 4 to 5 inches. We keep the temperature to 78 degrees. Their nickname is fairy
Cichlids.
Cichlids. They come from the Lake Tanganyika in Africa. Back to you, Dad.
Nice job, kiddo. All
yeah.
Right. So, a little bit more here. If you look at our tank here, the cool thing about these guys, we have a couple different cycles of Brichardis in here. We have, if you get to looking real close, we got a couple different sized babies. The cool thing about these is one generation of babies will not eat the second generation of babies. So you can grow them up in the same tank. I try to pull as many as I can, but I also do not disturb mom and dad's little world here. So we leave them in there. I don't have to worry about the other babies eating the new babies. What we've seen out of these guys, we get a new batch out of them about every 2 months or so is what we've had. We're waiting very impatiently on our third batch to come out. I thought for sure they've been sitting on fries here for the last few days. I thought they had some eggs and stuff in there, and haven't gotten anything out of them. But like keep any other live animal, you just basically be patient and let them do what they do. So when we're trying to condition these guys, most of the time we just feed them flake. They do really good on just a regular flake food. We'll give them some high protein stuff every once in a while when we're trying to trigger them to breed. We'll feed them some bloodworms, some fried shrimp, things along those lines that'll give them a real high protein content. So we're going to walk you through. We'll show you the next couple batches of what we have. We don't have any for sale at the moment, but we're getting to that point. I'll show you what we're looking for, what makes them sellable, presentable, so that folks want to be able to buy them. So we're going to move on to the next tank here, guys. So step over with me. All right, so here we have the first tank of babies that we hatched out of these guys. We are on our third generation of them. So this was one of the first generations we had. We've got them actually set up on a rack, and we will be moving these here before long. But if you get to looking, we probably got, I don't know, 40 or 50 or so fish in here that came out of the first batch that we've raised up, and we've kept a couple there in the tank with them. So we're going to step back here. Bentley's going to give you a couple facts on these guys on this tank that we have here. Bentley, you want to take over from here?
Hey guys, age of these fish are about 4 to 5 months old. They eat flake food, we're keeping them at the same temperature, 78 degrees.
All right, so Bentley said these are about 4 or 5 months old. Like I said, we get about 2 months or so here before the next batch comes out. We've also got these guys. We got a unique fish that we found. There's honeycomb catfish that we found at one of the pet stores here locally.
Yes.
We're going to be growing them out here next and trying to breed them. There is zero information, so if anybody has any input on how to breed honeycomb catfish, now's a great time to chime in. Please comment there for us so we got some information. But as in any other tank, we haven't done this real heavily. These guys seem to like to eat live plants. I haven't had a lot of luck keeping live plants with them, but I do have a couple that I'm trying to keep in here with them at the same time. But we'll show you the next stage here. We're about 2 months, the batch that would come out before these guys. We'll step over to the next tank here. All right, so this is another tank that we have. You've probably seen this in a previous video where we were showing you how to breed mystery snails, because we keep some mystery snails in here with these guys as well. But this is the most recent batch that we had out of these guys, and they're all doing really, really well. We probably got, I don't know, 50 or 60 so fish in here. Pretty basic setup. You know, we still got heater in there. We got sponge filter. We will eventually transition our grow out tanks into sand substrate. It's a pretty key part of their life. They like to take and dig and root and gut into it. But for the moment, I keep them in gravel. I kept the last batch in gravel. But if you're really trying to breed them, they need a sand substrate. They need to be able to dig, bury their nest where it needs to be. Bentley's going to give you a couple facts here on this tank here. Bentley, you want to step in and take them?
Okay, guys. These fish are about 2 months old. Same temp as well, 78 degrees. We feed them crushed flakes 3 times a day.
Good job, Bentley. All right, so what we're doing here, we feed these guys and we actually overfeed them. We know we overfeed them and we do it on purpose because we're trying to get them to grow up as fast as possible. So we keep mystery snails in each one of the tanks where we have a whole bunch of fry in there so that we can basically pyre feed the fish. We try to grow out some plants and stuff in it. These guys are very picky and they like to eat our plants sometimes. Not what happened to the Amazon sword that's in here. That one just melted on me and I have no reason as to why. But these guys, like he said, they're a couple months old. We're waiting on our next batch. Should be any day here. We'll start seeing some more out. We're going to step over here to the Mama and Papa tank here one more time. All right, so we're going to go over a recap here real quick with you so that we're kind of all on the same page and everybody knows what we're doing. The tank here, we keep it at 78 degrees. I think we reiterated that a couple of different times here tonight, thanks to Bentley. These fish are awesome, awesome fish. They are gorgeous. Tank mates, if you're going to keep them with other fish, I would stay with some of the milder African cichlids. You could probably go with some like lupes, maybe like some compressiceps, something along those lines that stay in the smaller size because these guys do stay small. They get to be about 4 or 5 inches. They will eventually become territorial, but the other fish also have the same opportunity at the same time. Sand substrate is critical to going through and trying to breed these guys. They are one of very few African cichlids that are not mouth brooders. They'll go through and they'll lay their eggs on the substrate, but they love to dig up underneath the rock and hide the eggs until they hatch out, and they become extremely protective at that point. We keep a lot of plants and stuff in here. We had to put some fake plants in here because they like to continue to eat my hornwort, and that's okay. That keeps them happy, but it also gives a baby somewhere to hide and feel a whole lot more comfortable. I don't really have a whole lot of issues bringing these up. I don't have to get into using a whole bunch of baby food and things along those lines. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't even feed them the first bites. When I have a whole bunch of babies in here, I take a boatload of crushed flake and I just dump it in the tank and let them have at it. I keep all the nasty little pest snails in there to help clean up it, and I don't have any issues with them eating nest or causing any problems with it. So in closing tonight, guys, we appreciate all of you. We've got several subscribers that have signed up here. You guys have given us comments, a couple of neat tricks. We're going to go through and we'll apply these in a couple of videos. I had one gentleman that went through and suggested a way to go through and make a different breeding box here for some of our catfish and stuff that we're breeding out. So we'll go through and try that. We'll put that out there. But it means the world to us. If you could, Like us, share us. You got comments, better ways to breed these guys, something you've done, something that works better. Please let us know. We'll share it with everybody. I have no issue.
Thank you for watching Sanders Aquatics.